Pathetically.
Gotta get Annie
Guy
back
could take a
here.
shower every now and then.
Dude, I came straight from work to this again.
Okay,
I'm ready.
Go ahead and hit record.
Thank you.
This is my life right now. We closed out that route though. Oh.
All right.
What was that?
Welcome, everyone. We are live with the microphones and the cameras. We appreciate the big turnout tonight, and thank you for our Citizen Academy graduates for filling the seats as well. Welcome to the Burlington City Council meeting. This is our meeting number 8 for 2026. It's April 20th, 2026, 5:30 p.m. here in the Thomas J. Smith Council Chambers, City Hall, 400 Washington Street. Would you all, please, I'm waiting, please rise and join me for the pledge. I was waiting for it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, again, so when you do the graduates, you're going to read the name, say out front hand, and we'll do it. Okay. So, yeah, figure it out. Okay.
Okay. Weiss?
Roll call, yes, thanks.
Weiss? Here. Wilson? Here. Phillips?
Here.
Kreitzer?
Present and accounted for.
Scott?
Yes.
Okay, first up on our task list tonight, oh, everything is running behind. Doggone it. Okay, that's okay. Hang on.
Do we need to announce that we're 3 minutes late?
No, it's on the camera. First up on our agenda tonight is congratulations to our graduates of the 9th Annual City Academy. For 9 years, this program has been available to any Burlington resident that wishes to participate. These men and women have given their personal time and their commitment to coming to and learning about our city. We'd also like to thank Maddie, please stand up, please stand up. We'd like to thank Maddie Caston. Sorry, that was my Eminem impersonation. Maddie has done a wonderful job organizing this group for us this year. So thank you from council, Maddie, for the excellent job you do. So I'm going to go up front. We'll hand these out. I'm told that these are alphabetical. Don't work me over.
They're in
using-
the order I
And
said.
our Mayor Pro Tem's going to read the names. What we'll do is we'll give you the document, and then we'll do a group photo with council at the end with the logo in the back.
So I'm holding applause and applause.
Well, you are applause.
Okay. I have Bruce Therese, and I apologize right now if I mispronounce any part of your name.
And I will say that this is what the certificate says. Certificate of completion, Bruce Clarice has successfully completed the 2026 City Academy, demonstrating a commitment to civic engagement and a deeper understanding of local government operations. Bruce, thank you for your comments, too. Go ahead.
Bruce Pollock.
Bruce Pollock. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you.
Cassandra McIntyre. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Cassandra McIntyre.
Did she leave?
She did leave. Okay.
I'm not here. Okay.
Give that to you.
Edward Wasson.
You got it. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Jeff Stevers. Stivers. Oh, I even heard it before. I'm so sorry.
Jeff, thank you very much. Great choice.
Kendall Baker.
Kendall left.
Kristen Lawson.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lawrence Mead.
Thank you.
Natalie Steffner.
Congratulations.
And finally, Nicholas Collett.
All right. One more time. You get to meet 4 people. Congratulations, too. Graduates, council, Music, are you taking our picture? Just huddle in, we're all friends now. Got it? Yep. Now, graduates, all of you are welcome to say a piece there. You would just give us your name and your thoughts. Please try to keep them to a couple minutes, but if anybody's feeling brave enough to come to the lectern, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Don't feel obligated.
Yeah, don't feel obligated.
We're crowding.
Don't everybody come.
Hey, my name's Lawrence Mead, and I took this because my lovely daughter, Emily Herr, suggested I take it along with my wife. And I really enjoyed it. It gave me a better knowledge, and I, like others here, have been very impressed on what this city does with the limited funds that they have. Sometimes I don't think they can do it all with that little bit of money that they have. So I've been very happy that I got to attend this. So thank you for allowing me to attend.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
very much.
participation.
So Bruce Pollock and my spouse encouraged that I take these classes. She has taken the fire, the police, and the civic academy. She loves the fire department. But she encouraged me to take it as well. We're new residents of Burlington, came here mostly from Pittsburgh by way of Dubuque. And we really love Burlington, and we really appreciate everything that you do here. When we came to this city, we said, yeah, this looks like a nice place to live. So,
Music to our ears.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Opportunities to go on once, going twice, 3 times. Okay. Next up on our agenda,
Do you want to give them that?
well, no, they've been graduates. You can't actually, graduates, because you've already endured this for an hour. If you need to leave because you got something going, that's great. We won't be offended, as the Mayor Pro Tem pointed out. So, on to our agenda, and we do appreciate you graduates for your
Yes, thank you
participation.
so much.
And we look forward to seeing you more and more often. Tonight, we have a proclamation for our what's going to be received by our outstanding city forester, Patrick Moore. This proclamation is for Arbor Day. Proclamation reads, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that the special day be set aside for the planting of trees. This holiday is called Arbor Day and was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can reduce erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, and produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fire, countless other wood products, trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. Trees are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Burlington, Iowa has been recognized as a Tree City USA and a Tree City of the World by the National Arbor Day Foundation, and desires to continue its tree planting ways. And now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Burlington, Iowa, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in the City of Burlington, Iowa, and urge all citizens to support the efforts to care for our trees and our woodlands and to support our city's community forestry program. We further urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote the well-being of the present and future generations. Signed and sealed this 20th day of April 2026, attested by Katie Music, City Clerk, and John Billups, Mayor. Patrick, I thought I saw you walk in. Turn around, face up. Repeat after me. No. Would you like to say a few words, my friend? Please.
Try to get out of there. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for recognizing Arbor Day and for your continued support of our community's urban forestry efforts. Trees do so much for our city. They provide shade, improve air quality, help manage stormwater, make beautiful Burlington. This year marks Burlington's 38th year as Tree City USA community. We're also honored to receive the Tree City USA Growth Award and the Tree City of the World, which we are one of 283 communities in the world of Tree City World.
That's amazing.
And only one of 4 in Iowa. We've been one of 3 for a little bit. Somebody got on the new list this year. In addition to that, we have also received a $30,000 grant through the DNR and the federal government to increase our planting efforts. That has been huge. So just little milestones that Burlington is just trying to stay above the cutting edge. Again, we couldn't do this without your support, our staff, our tree advisory board, and all of our volunteers in Burlington. So I'd like to thank everybody for that as well. Also, we have a special guest today. I'd like to let him have a few words of not just somebody from Burlington, but somebody who gets to look at all the beautiful trees of the state and record them, Mark Rao.
Well, thank you. So I came all the way from Des Moines for this occasion. Not really. I've been coming here since 1986 to look for and measure big trees. And so I was down here today, and I'm going to be here tomorrow doing that. And I called Patrick, and then he invited me to stop by. So it was just sort of a lucky coincidence. But I have 2 favorite places in Iowa, and both of them involve trees. One of them is White Pine Hollow, because it's our closest thing to a wilderness in Iowa. And as you all know, it's mostly farm and urban in the state, mostly farm. And White Pine Hollow is such a special place because it has the tallest trees, and there's actually 15 species that reach 100 feet or more. But my other favorite place is Burlington. So those are my 2 favorite places, and I usually visit each of them several times a year. And I don't know why Burlington is so much different than other towns in Iowa. I mean, you got Muscatine, you got Keokuk, but Burlington has got more tree diversity and bigger trees. And so I'm glad that all this stuff is happening now, but a long time ago, 150 years ago, there must have been some really tree-minded people in this town that, results in all the variety and big trees that you have today. And I don't know how many years ago it was, I called Burlington because I was concerned because there was a pecan that was lifting the sidewalk. And I was afraid it was going to get cut down. And Patrick, did I talk to you about that? Yeah, so Patrick and Ryan, I dealt with them, and they assured me that they were going to try and, make sure the tree wasn't cut. So they came up with an alternative solution, and a lot of cities are not very good about respecting and treasuring the trees. And so Burlington is really a special place, and a place to be proud to be from. So I could go on and on, but I probably used my 2 minutes. So thank you very much, and I'm going to take off. I got to eat supper and then measure more trees. So.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for your comments. We appreciate it.
I have a question though. So we have 100-foot trees in Iowa. What are some of the oldest trees, and are some of them here with us, or like? That's a more question.
Well, white oaks get very old, and there are some big white oaks around here, and I suspect some of those are probably 2 or 3 centuries old.
Wow.
And there are still trees in town that were probably planted when Burlington was established, which would be getting up there too. But the oldest trees in Iowa are red cedars, and there's some in Palisades Kepler State Park. that a number of years ago, they were cored at well over 400 years old, and I think there's some of them now that could be 500 years old. And the white oaks can live to be over 400. And the oldest one was in Warren County that we knew of, and it blew down, and it sat laying prone in the woods for 10 years. And I worked at the Science Center, and I had talked about saving a cross-section of that tree. And then the person that I was dealing with at the Science Center, they left, and so it just got put on the back burner. Well, then I finally decided it's either now or never, because it's just gonna decay. And so several cross-sections of that oldest oak have been saved, and one of them is on display at the Science Center, and I think there's one at Red Rock. Yeah, there's one at Red Rock, and then there's a couple of others someplace else, so.
I love that.
Now, sycamores have the potential to live to be more than 500 years old, and there was one down at Lake Red Rock that was killed when they filled the reservoir. That was a really special tree that was probably, I think they're estimating it something like maybe 600 years old.
Wow.
And
What a tragedy.
they filled the reservoir, and of course the tree died. And it was only a few years ago, the trunk lifted up and was floating on the surface, and so now they've got it up on land. I need to go see it and photograph it before it's completely disintegrated.
Thank you for that.
Quite
Thank
all
you
right.
so much.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Good to see you all.
Yeah,
Thank you
as
very
well.
much for your kind words.
Thank you.
Patrick, did you have anything else? Okay, all right. Next up is comments from the audience. If there's something you'd like to address council on that is not on the agenda tonight, now would be the time to come forward. Give us your name and address, what your issue is. We may not discuss it in length because it's not published, so we really can't take any action on it, but at least we want to hear your thoughts, and then we go from there. So is there anyone that has any comments for council tonight? Now would be the time to come forward. Okay, I don't see anybody jumping up. Moving on to the consent agenda. All matters listed under item 1, consent agenda, having been discussed, are considered to be routine by city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and can be considered separately yet tonight. On the consent, I just had it. On the consent, we have minutes of previous meetings, payroll and city claims, beer, liquor, wine, and cigarette permits, and reports and bonds. We have 5 resolutions on the consent. The first resolution is approving nuisance abatements for various properties. Number 2 is a resolution approving a training agreement. Number 3 is a resolution approving a traffic safety improvement program, TSIP, funding agreement with the Iowa Department of Transportation for the Division Street and West Burlington Avenue Roundabout project. Number 4 is a resolution approving audit services for fiscal years 2026 through 2030 with Anderson, Larkin and Company, PC. Number 5 is a resolution approving the interlocal agreement between the City of Burlington and the Des Moines County, for a 2025 Burn Justice Assistance Grant, the JAG Program Award. We're also setting the date for a couple public hearings for May 4th, 2026. The first one will be a consideration of a community development block grant, which will pertain to housing roof grant program. And the second one will be a consideration of lease and easement agreement with Red Lion Burlington Solar. Is there anybody in the audience would like any of the items from the consent removed and considered separately? Council, any items you'd like to remove and considered separately? Hearing none, I accept a motion.
Your Honor, I have a motion to approve all listed under item 1 consent agenda.
Second.
Weiss?
Yes.
Wilson?
Aye.
Phillips?
Aye.
Kreitzer?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes. Okay, now I gotta look at, sorry, get my notes here. Okay, first up is hearings, consideration of the fiscal year 2026 budget. Did I get a second? Second? No, we don't second this.
No second.
Sorry.
When you speak, we don't need to second it, I feel
Okay,
like.
that's fine.
Okay.
I like that. I
I
like
feel
that.
like that's the rule.
Yes,
kind of,
Stephanie,
right?
go ahead.
That's supposed
This
to
is the
start.
final, final day for budget.
Final,
Oh, happy
final.
day, right?
This is it.
For me.
For all of us.
So I'll go through my presentation and then stop me if you have any questions. And I know if anybody will have the public hearing after that to go over it. So this proposed budget's for the fiscal year starting July 1st, 2026 through the 27th. Overall, we'd just like to let the people know where the taxes go. If you do have a house valuation of about $100,000, you're going to pay city taxes of $710. And you can see it's broken down to the different functions. Fire and police are 46% of that $710. Library is 6%. Park and Recs is 7%. Debt service is the bonds that we pay for projects that we borrowed for, 25%. Public Works is 5%. Community Development, 3%. And then the general administration of the city is at 8%. So some of the factors that are affecting the budget, of course, are the valuations. That's how we get our taxes, based on how properties are valuated. We did see an increase in the total taxable valuation by 3%. TIF went down. Most likely that's because we released TIF valuations to put back into the regular taxable pot. So regular taxable valuations went up 7%. So this year we have proposed not to increase the tax rate, but we will collect more property taxes because the assessment value is going to be more. And it's going to be an increase of $805,937. So this just breaks down the different levies that we have that make up the 1593. You can see most of them, all of them except debt service, will go to the general fund. Also, on the note at the bottom, we just like to point out that you can levy for all your employee benefits throughout the city, but we don't, because when we pass the local option sales tax, the penny tax, we pass that on running that we will reduce property taxes. It will help keep property taxes down. So the remaining cost of our employee benefits, which is about $4 million, we pay for that with the loss transfer. But that equates in a decrease in property taxes by $3.61. So just a quick overview, how property taxes are assessed or calculated. First, there's the assessed value of your property. That's done by the Des Moines County, and that determines your value. There's the rollback percentage that's set by the state of Iowa. Each year it's adjusted. And then the consolidated levy rate is what you pay. That includes the city, the county, the school district, SCC, and other small amounts. Here's just an example of what we're paying in the current fiscal year. If you're a resident of Burlington, your property tax rate is $40.96. The city of Burlington's rate is about 39% of that, same with the school. And then the other small county makes up for 16%, and then the rest are smaller. Again, we don't know what the school is going to set their property tax rate at, or the county at this point. They might have had their hearings, but I didn't this is just for last year's to show for an example of how much we make up the actual levy. Again, we are proposing no increase. We're going to keep it at $15.93. And then if you do the calculation for a $100,000 house, you can see the valuation is staying the same. The rollback for this fiscal year has decreased a little bit to 44.53. So what that means is if your valuation didn't change, you're going to pay less taxes by that $46 annually. That's your annual tax rate. And then same calculation for commercial. Property taxes will go down if your valuation stayed the same. It would decrease by that $70. One of the things to explain that some people might not understand with government accounting is we have to have restricted use for the funds. So a good way to show it is we have these different buckets. The buckets can't go into each other. Like whatever we collect for the general fund, we really can't use for business type. and proprietary funds. And the proprietary funds we can't use to do other things. So I know when people say, why don't we not do the bridge and pay our officers more? Those are coming out of two different buckets. It's not the same amount of money. That special revenue funds, that's where we put our road use and sales tax, again, restricted funds. The debt service fund is our bond payments. And then, like you said, we got the capital projects and the business type. General fund is where public safety is. So for this budget for fiscal year '27, we're proposing revenues of $97,810,567. Again, this just shows it broken down by those different funds. General fund's bringing in $15 million. Our business type, that's our sewer, solid waste. And for our state budget, Waterworks is in there. That revenue number is in there. Capital projects, $14 million. That's mostly bond proceeds and grants. And then this is the revenues broken down by the source. 17% of our revenues are going to come from property taxes. You can see it's broken down. Intergovernmental is at 12%. That's where our road use is coded and any other like grants we get. Charges for service, most of that is our business types. Of that 25 million, 8.6 is Waterworks. Sewers 9.5, solid waste 2.6, and then ambulance is 1.4. And then the other large source is that other financing sources, which is the bond proceeds for both GO bonds and sewer bonds. And our expenses for FY '27 are budgeted at $104,084.58. So this is broken down by the function or program. That's how we have to budget in the state. Again, public safety, that's fire, police, and our building inspections. Public works is transit and streets. Culture and rec, that's where your parks and your rec programs pool, if we were budgeting, that would go there. General government is what's happening here at City Hall, and business type, again, that's the waterworks, sewer, and solid waste, and then capital projects is 21 million. That transfer number, that comes in, that of the transfers, 9.5 is being transferred into the general fund. So that's not additional money that we're getting in. It's just, I have to record it like as a revenue and an expense as a transfer. So of the expenses, 28% are personnel, that's wages and benefits. 24% are contractual services, paying external agencies for expenses. Also, we do budget Waterworks there, so of that 21 million, their total expenses for their operation, 8.2 is in that. Commodities are the equipment, vehicles, capital outlay. Commodities are purchasing goods and supplies. The capital outlay is purchasing the equipments and vehicles. And then debt service makes up about 10% of our expenditures, and that's paying towards the debt that we've already borrowed on. So health insurance premiums, in the budget, we're budgeted for 5%, and then when we did get our renewal, it did come in at 5%. Pension rates for IPERS stayed the same. Fire and police pension went down slightly to that 21.86%. And then our general fund revenues for '27, you can see almost half of our revenues come in, we do get from the property taxes that we collect. Hotel motel is another $1 million. Intergovernmental are grants. Charges for services, most of that, a large amount of that is our ambulance fees that go into the general fund. And then our expenditures for the fiscal year '27 in the general fund are 25 million. Of that, the largest two portions, of course, are fire and police, that they make up about 7 million each for that. You can just see there the different type of departments and what's budgeted out. So you can see our revenues coming in are less than our expenditures going out for the general fund, and that's where those transfers come into play. We have budgeted $9.5 million in transfers to go into the general fund. That's where we transfer the sales tax amount to have property tax relief. We levy for employee benefits, that 2.8 million, that has to go into a separate fund required by the state, then we transfer it into the general fund to cover those expenses. And then on the expenditure side, we do transfer out that hotel motel. That's another requirement by the state. So you can see our ending balance will be 5 million, which is 19% of the fund balance. So we are decreasing, using some of our fund balance this year to balance the budget, and that's why you see that decrease of almost 800,000. So in our sewer fund, we are proposing a 4% increase, same as we have in the past. We definitely are seeing the increased cost and operations and our requirements with the EPA sewer separation projects. And you'll see that when, we're doing more and more projects to separate the sewer, borrowing money for it. So we have to keep up, to keep paying for those expenses. Solid waste, we're increasing the monthly fee by 45 cents per month based, on each cart size. Of that cart size or cart, if you have a 35-gallon cart, you pay $16.90 a month. $4.55 of that $16 goes to recycling. That is increased by 10 cents by the Des Moines County Solid Waste Commission. We didn't have an increase in the tipping fees this year, so this increase is the same as we did in the prior year. So overall, our capital projects, you can see here, one, like I talked, sewer separation is almost, it is the biggest with 7 million. Streets, 5.6. Fire station, we have that budgeted for 5 million. Doing the Cascade Bridge design. Parks and trails, those are park projects. Waterworks projects at the facility. And then the flood protection wall, we're doing another phase, and that's 5.4 million. This kind of just lists out the projects in a little more detail. Summer Street is our big project for this next fiscal year, finishing that up. Of course, the flood improvements and the fire station. So hotel motel fund, this is a tax that gets collected and remitted to the city of Burlington. We're budgeting, we're going to get 1.1 million. We do have an agreement to split the first 700,000 with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. They get 30%, we get 70. And then after any amounts over 700,000, they get a little bit bigger share of 40%. So this year we've budgeted to spend 1.4 million out of hotel motel tax. So we are using some of that fund balance too for projects this year that have been built up. You can see the larger amounts in hotel motel are parks projects. The special projects, again, those are all either for the Recplex or parks projects. And then I did break out community field to show that we do have $46,000 budgeted for utilities there, and then $24,000 is for maintenance. So the sales tax fund, this is that penny everybody pays when you buy something in Des Moines County. We are budgeting 5.4 million for tax revenue. Our expenses are 5.9. Again, we're using fund balance that's built up. The first three items on here, all of that is transferred to the general fund. For the police officers, we fund 8 officers out of local option sales tax. And then we do just a variety of different projects and things that we fund. All our computer equipment that comes for the city, we fund out of sales tax. You can see there the golf course equipment, parks and forestry equipment, and then some other just, smaller items and projects that we do. So our debt limit, the state wants us to keep it at 5% of our assessed value. The city has a financial policy that we will keep it at 70% of that 5%. So this just shows we're projecting that we'll be at 57% next fiscal year, which you can see the past few years we've been under that 70%. And this slide just shows how we compare to the other cities with the that are over 20,000 in population. Burlington's highlighted there. kind of in the middle, but I know this is too small for anybody to read, but this, my PowerPoint is located on the website under the Finance Department, or it's in the packet too. But some of the takeaways to see, Burlington has the third lowest rate per capita tax rate. And we also have the third lowest taxable value. So there's two communities that have lower taxable value than Burlington, and their tax rate is at least $5 more. So basically what that shows is we've tried to do as best we can with as least we get, compared to other communities of our similar size. The two lowest are Fort Dodge and Ottumwa. And again, they're really comparable to us. They're about the same size. They're not bedroom communities, or they're communities that are the hub around in their area. Both of their tax rates are over $20 compared to ours at $15.93. And again, our levy rate is, out of the 26 that I listed, we're 16th. And then they do show an average of that on there. The average levy rate is $14.72, and we're at $15.93. So we're a little over the average, but the average valuation is 2.9 billion, I guess, is that?
Billion, yeah.
Yeah, 2.9 billion, and ours is 787 million. So again, we collect less and do more. Does anybody have any questions, or?
Anyone in the audience have any questions?
I'll get out of here.
Mrs. Stuker, thank you for a fantastic job. I'm sure you're on your way to another award for financial reporting. And council, do you have any thoughts or considerations before we close?
Collect less, do more is a good motto.
Is there a motion to close?
Motion to
I have a
close?
couple
Oh,
things,
go
Mayor.
ahead.
I've been through a lot of these budgets. I talked to Chad to get some clarification on a few things this morning, and it doesn't get any easier. It's still difficult to understand, but the staff, especially Stephanie, does a fantastic job putting this together and making it as simple as can be with these type of numbers. But I do want to point out that I had some concerns, and in the big picture, these are pretty minor. One of my concerns is it's first time in a decade and a half that we haven't had money programmed for seal-coated streets. And we don't have money for street resurfacing budgeted for this year and for the next 2 years following that. But saying that, we've got a tremendous amount of street work going on. And I can see how it's difficult to balance the dollars that we have with projects like the Summer Street project, which is huge, and the Washington Street project, and then coming up the next year, the Sunnyside project. So it's I can forgive the council, myself, and everybody else that's helped put this budget together and come up where we don't have these. In the future years, we do show $400,000 a year for seal-coat streets, and I can tell you I have personally worked hard to keep that seal-coat program together, because once you get behind a couple of years, it takes multiple years to get caught up. My other concerns is monies that we give to non-government organizations, and I've spoke about that. None of this am I going to give up on, but for the most part, I support the budget we put together. The only other thing that I have to say is, if you have a chance, look at our capital improvements plan, and I think you'll be maybe shocked. I still am when I look at it. We've got almost $45 million just for sewer work, sewer separation work, over the next 5 years. And that's amazing, and I said this when they brought the consent agenda, or consent order to the city back in the early 2000s. It's like flushing money down the toilet. I see they're in goal, but to try to stop infiltration and outflow and separate the sewers, I don't think it's money well spent, but that's just my opinion. That's all I got there.
Okay. Anyone else?
No.
Motion?
Motion to close, Your Honor.
Second.
Weiss?
Yes.
Wilson?
Aye.
Phillips?
Aye.
Kreitzer?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution adopting budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Weiss?
Yes.
Wilson?
Aye.
Phillips?
Aye.
Kreitzer?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Okay. Next up is consideration.
Go.
Were you saying
No,
something?
no, Nick, coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Can you read the title, John?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
reading the title.
sorry.
I just got interrupted by
Okay.
giggling over on my right.
And it wasn't me this time.
A consideration of a consolidated transit, sorry, Nick, transit grant application. Mr. McGregor.
So this is the time to have our public hearing for an annual submission for our consolidated transit app. In this, we discuss the funding sources that we need to operate the transit system, the state transportation operating assistance, and then the federal transit operating assistance. The STA dollars, as I refer to them, is $247,000, and the FTA is $486,000. In the application, we also apply for capital projects, mostly buses. In the public hearing, we have 4 buses planned for replacement. This differs some from our capital improvement plan that you just approved through the budget. And I refer to it as these are dependent upon scoring that is hosted through the Iowa DOT, and we don't necessarily know what bus will get the funding. So from a budgetary standpoint on our CIP, we plan for a bus to be replaced. We put all 4 buses into the application, so that way, if one of the 4 is selected, we're able to replace that. Not a lot else there. There's a lot of back-end paperwork that Mr. Byrd has to sign and submit, but this is the public hearing, and then you'll approve a resolution that authorizes us to apply for the dollars.
Thank you, Mr. McGregor. Is there anyone in the audience that's had any thoughts or concerns regarding the transit grant application? Council, thoughts or concerns?
Your Honor, I have a motion to close.
Second?
Weiss?
Yes.
Wilson?
Aye.
Phillips?
Aye.
Kreitzer?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a motion to approve a resolution for the consolidated transit grant application.
Second?
Weiss?
Yes.
Wilson?
Aye.
Phillips?
Aye.
Kreitzer?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Okay, next up is a resolution, oh, no, that's you, Ann, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you can do
I was
whatever,
moving
but
right along.
Your Honor, I have a resolution approving a solar power and services agreement with Red Lion Burlington Solar LLC for installation and operations of solar PV systems at city facilities continued from the April 6th, 2026 council meeting.
Second?
Mr. Byrd.
Mayor, I distributed down the line here an updated copy of the solar agreement. I did not get it emailed to you. Made changes late after lunch. But I do have confirmation that our provider, our partner, has agreed to the changes. So I would like to just kind of take a minute and walk through a couple of things that we've been talking about, if you will. This is for solar PPA, power purchase agreement, for 2 locations on city-owned property. One, the animal shelter, and the other, the Recplex. And the one in the Recplex will be a parking lot facility, so it'll serve as a dual purpose for a shade structure for our parking in that area. A couple of things that we've been talking about, I would draw your attention to page 4. And I didn't get you a color copy, but things are underlined, so you should be able to reasonably kind of follow along there and see what's going on. But if you look at Article 3, Section 3.01, these are what are called system attributes, and you'll see language that is stricken there called environmental attributes. And comments from the city attorney, actually I had a couple of legal counsel look at this on behalf of the city. The notion or the term environmental attribute came up as something that the city needs to consider retaining. And so I negotiated that with the provider, with Red Lion, and they are agreeable to that. So this language retains the environmental attributes. I'll explain what those are. Environmental attributes are the environmental benefits created when the solar system generates clean electricity, such as reduced greenhouse gas emissions and renewable energy credits. Those benefits are separate from the actual electricity we use and can be tracked, reported, or even sold in the open market. Under this agreement, the city receives full ownership of those attributes, meaning the city can claim the environmental impact of the project and decide how or if to monetize those benefits separate from the actual power generated. In simple terms, we're not just buying solar power, we're also owning the environmental value that comes with it. So that was a point, again, suggested by the city attorneys, and the provider is willing to change the agreement. So that's reflected in here. And it took 3 extra paragraphs to say all that from the one that was in the original agreement, but whatever. This is a 20-year agreement to purchase power from the installer of the solar infrastructure. There is no cost of infrastructure to the city, but we agreed to buy power from the provider. There is a buyout option, and let's see, I'll show you where that is so you can see it. It's on page 10. Sorry, I should have that down. Section 9.06 is the buyer's purchase option, and there's a couple of sections there that talk through that. So I know Councilman Scott had brought up the notion, and I think I brought it up the first time we went through this, of the idea of a dollar buyout. That's not legal under IRS rules. That language is not in here. And so it's this section 9.06 buyer's purchase option. And the term in the definitions, the exhibit at the end, is fair market value. And the way that is determined is by negotiation between the buyer and the provider. If those terms can't be derived, then there's an appraisal of the system to determine fair market value. And then at that point, the city can decide whether it wants to buy the system or not. If the city would choose to buy the system, we pay whatever that fair market value is. We own the infrastructure outright. Anything we produce, it's all ours then, right? If we decide not to exercise the purchase option at fair market value, we can't come to terms. We can tell the contractor or the provider to simply take his toys and go home. And there's no harm, no foul, right? That's all spelled out in here. I think I've got a couple other sections highlighted. They're really more just kind of for my notes and interest. The insurance on page 15, that's all usual and customary. I don't really have any other points I think that we were talking about, so I would ask if the council has any questions. This is a lot. It's new for us. We've not dealt with this before. But know that I have our city attorneys looking at this. And some of the items that we've discussed and gone back and forth, the provider is conceding to. I don't have a signed agreement tonight, but his latest email this afternoon was, sounds great, let's move, so.
So with not a signed, without having that agreement, are we still voting?
I would
Yes or
ask
no?
you to vote on it,
All right,
yeah.
that's what I wanted
Yep.
to do. Okay. Anyone in the audience have any thoughts or concerns? Council, thoughts or concerns?
I'm excited.
Kay's excited. If there's nothing, I will ask for a vote.
Weiss?
What I wanted.
Aye.
Okay. Wilson?
Aye.
Phillips?
Aye.
Kreitzer?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Number 2, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're going to have a resolution approving a professional services agreement with MSA Professional Services, Inc. for the preparation of a comprehensive plan update and a parks, trails, and recreation system plan for the city of Burlington, Iowa.
Second.
The previous comprehensive plan was adopted in 2012, with MSA working on that, giving them extensive background and knowledge on our community and processes. Our previous parks plan was adopted in 1997, so well out of date. So this is a resolution approving professional service agreement with MSA in the amount of $150,000 to update the comprehensive plan and prepare parks and recreation master plan. The comp plan will serve as the city's primary long-range policy document, and the Parks and Rec plan will guide future park, recreation, trail improvement priorities within our community. Looking at starting here very soon with some initial meetings in May and completion summer, fall 2027. We do have Chris Jansen and Emily Houston, if I said that correctly, here from MSA, so I'd ask them to, I guess, present to council any other, or be able to answer any questions or any other information on it. But we're excited to get this project moving. Really have had a lot of changes in the last 15 years, 30-plus years for the parks that will guide us for future development and growth in our community over the next 10 to 20 years.
I forget, is this the group that had worked on it?
Yep, they
Chris-
worked on our, Chris,
Actual person?
Chris was
that-
here,
Yeah.
and, yep, 15 years ago on the plan as well, yes.
Right, so I think that's a really interesting and really unique thing to happen. You don't often have somebody working on something 15 years ago and then the same person, actual person, working on it. So it's nice. You know where we came from and where we are now.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Chris Jansen with MSA Professional Services.
Emily Houston, also with MSA.
Yeah, and Eric, how much, do you just have the cover? Or
I have
do you
everything, if
You have
you want
everything?
anything.
Okay. I can run through a little bit of what we have here in terms of a scope of work. It is gonna be a little bit different than the last one. The last one was a pretty, as Eric said, we updated the comprehensive plan at that time, so we were really focused on just that document. This process will focus on updating that plan, updating an even older Parks and Recreation master plan, and then an engagement process that basically covers both of those. So we're trying to take advantage of kind of getting people in the room and having them talk about both things. Now, what we've found, because we've done this a number of times, is that people love talking about parks. Sometimes comp plans, if you've been involved in a comprehensive planning process, it's just a little higher, unless they're actively doing some type of land development, redevelopment, reinvestment, or, ingrained in that city process. That is not one of those things that people are like, oh, on a 6:30 on a Tuesday night, I want to go talk about the comp plan. But Parks and Rec, absolutely. So we have found there is a unique advantage to updating both of these documents together and basically overlaying that public engagement process. So if you go, scroll. Okay, so engagement plan. This is probably the first part. And so if you look at this is basically the engagement plan for both of these things. There are some elements that we had from that are kind of traditional comprehensive plan, parks plan sort of things. We have public meetings at night. We have surveys. We have a project website that we'll put together that will be kind of the clearing place for not only the public to generally interact with the plan and see what's going on, but also for you guys to refer to. And so if you missed the last meeting or you didn't get our project update, you can say, oh, go to the comprehensive plan website. It's got the newest stuff on there. Go to the parks. And so both of those plans will be involved with that. Some of the things we've added since then that we've found in 15 years, we've changed and improved and gotten better. We have 3 pop-up meetings. Now, we didn't do any of those at the last project, the last time we did it. We had kind of a more traditional meeting schedule. We have found that when we go to a festival or some type of a community event and we set up a booth for, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, depending on kind of how that festival is laid out and what the schedule is, and we have some basically poster boards and an activity for kids and tables and that kind of thing on both of these plans that we're updating, we get a ton of great feedback from people that are not gonna go to a meeting at 6:30 on a Tuesday night, right? They're busy, they got kids, they're coaching, they're doing all kinds of stuff, but they are coming to those community events. So we have those strategically placed within this process, within the engagement plan, to get to those folks that may not interact with the plan on what we would call a traditional kind of planning schedule. We have project team meetings. As I said, we'll be doing flyer services, the stuff we kind of normally did. We had a really engaged steering committee last time, so we've kind of revamped that to bring it back, just because we did have a really good group. We met, we met at 7:30 in the morning, basically kind of throughout the project, and so we are gonna take that track because it was good, and if we need to be flexible throughout the process, we will. Eric, do you want to advance to the comp plan piece? Sorry. Yes, okay. So, your plan that was done in 2012 had a different type of setup than we had been doing a lot at that time. So, the previous plans that you would see if you picked up another one from another community, you may see a chapter for everything, right? There's a housing chapter, there's a transportation chapter, there's a community facilities chapter. Your previous plan, the current plan, had it laid out where there was a lot of that in the appendices. Now, we probably will not write another 223-page plan, I think. We've put more effort into public engagement now in planning and less into these giant documents and that kind of thing. But the principle of how we laid out will be kind of similar to what you're used to, is what we do. We have an introduction section. We talk about why it's important, what the comp plan is. We have a public engagement section that talks about all of the things that we did and has a summary of feedback so people can see where their comments were and how it went into the plan. Then we have basically our community elements. So that's all of that other stuff besides the big piece of a future land use plan or the comprehensive plan is that future land use and the growth and the reinvestment piece. Now we've added a downtown Burlington sub-area plan as part of this. We did not do that the last time, so that will be in addition to this plan. And then the implementation and action plan, it's a big document, right, Eric? I'm sure you probably haven't picked it up. It's out of date now, right? It was good for several years, I'm sure, and there are pieces of it that are still very important and could be picked right back up and gone. We have moved away from that to a degree. We still do that implementation matrix. We still focus on some goals for each one of those kind of categories, some strategic kind of objectives or some, strategic objectives or strategies for doing that. And then we have action steps. What we've been doing lately and have a lot of success in is we deliver those action steps and all of that as an Excel sheet so that Eric and the rest of your staff can continually update those actions as they go forward and track the progress of the plan that way, because there may be actions that we put together at, next spring. Let's say we're almost towards the end of this process. We have all these actions. Eric's going to pick that up in another year and getting ready for your capital improvements budgeting and your annual budgeting, and it's going to be like, this action step is like somebody else did that, or it's not relevant anymore. It doesn't mean the goal or the strategy wasn't relevant, so we want to be able to update those action steps on an annual basis. And the best practices that we've seen and we will recommend as part of that process is that gets shared with all your city departments so that they can review it and identify where they have actions that they are either continually doing and will continue to do, or that they are going to undertake that would help support a strategy or an objective and a goal of the comprehensive plan. So we have evolved, I guess would be the best way to say, and done these a little differently. And then the parks plan is the new one, which we didn't address last time, but that we do a lot of. And as I said, we've had really great success because people love talking about parks. For better or worse, they're a little bit, the general public is more familiar with your recreation and your trail systems and that type of thing. So we get a lot of good feedback, and then we kind of pull them aside and have them come over and talk about where they want to see reinvestment, where they want to see growth, what their observances are about downtown and that kind of thing. So this plan will be a plan that does a full inventory and uses some of those, the resources that you already have, talks about some comparables, looks at scheduling for the capital improvements plan going forward, so you can use this as a guide. Now, that would be the other thing that I want to run back to, and if you guys are familiar with comp plans, they are a guide. These are not ordinances. These are not, this is a guide for other decisions that you folks will make, that staff will make, that your boards and commissions will make, and that future councils will make on how Burlington continues to grow and succeed and reinvest in itself over the next 15 years, right? So with that, I am certainly happy to answer any questions that you have of us, as we are excited about this opportunity to work with you again.
Okay, does anyone in the audience have any thoughts or concerns? Council, do you have any questions?
I would like to suggest that you have at least one daytime meeting, because there are people who might not come in the evening.
Excellent. We can certainly do that. There's 3 workshop type meetings built in to the plan, and I would say that we will find the best time for those that we can, and if one of them can be during the day, the growth and development one. The open house we would probably have for a longer period of time, and so we could start that late afternoon and then go into early evening to help facilitate that extra traffic for folks that are working during the day, or sorry, folks that want to meet during the day, and that's more advantageous to them than working at night, but also be available to those folks that may not get off till 4:30 or 5.
Can you share like a quick success story of a comprehensive plan you came up with, and then a community implemented it, and then you've got to see some results, or it's such a long process that it's hard to say?
It is. I would say that I'm flat honest, everything that goes in there is not gonna be the thing that, it's not at the end of 15 years that the entire plan has been implemented. What it's gonna provide is a guide, and it's going to be, it's gonna provide some flexibility and that type of thing as well. We have certainly had a ton of success. On the Parks and Rec side, there is usually, Austin, Minnesota is one where I know that they had a lot of rec facilities for diverse populations. They have, Hormel is their big packing plant. That's the capital, I guess, of Hormel. And so they have a lot of diverse folks that are in their community working in those industries that had some different recreational needs than the city was accustomed to providing, right? Different. One of the ones was, they called it cane ball, I think, but I've seen it. I live in Des Moines, and I've seen it in the park right next to our house. It basically looks like a badminton net. It's about that tall, and they play with a ball that's about this big, and they kick it almost like, think of like hacky sack,
Yeah.
right? Like it kind of looks like they're playing some sort of game that looks like it's a small ball that looks like they're playing hacky sack, but they're trying to get it over the net. And then they had, obviously, there's always some, sports and recreation, like that has changed from 1997, those types of things. We've seen a lot of success there. In a comp plan, we have certainly seen success with the growth development, and that's where you normally see it. We've seen cities that then go from doing a comprehensive plan to rewriting their zoning ordinances to better help implement the plan, and then they've found an easier, faster way for people to reinvest in houses. We've seen, Hastings did a pattern book for infill housing. So they basically had, if you came in and wanted to infill on a lot, here's basically your building permit, you just have to build kind of one of these things and it sort of fits and that sort of thing. So there are some really great ways to implement a comprehensive plan aside from just, out there where we don't have anything in the green fields, we drew a, yellow circle here and that, there ended up being housing there. We have those successes. One of the other ones that we've recently been working on was Greenfield, Iowa had a tornado a couple of years ago, I don't know. They did a comprehensive plan update and zoning ordinance update to try and reclaim and reinvest in some of that, get that value back basically in town. Because as you sat through that, meeting tonight, that the taxable value you have in your community and maintaining that is a big part of good budgeting and fiscal responsibility and making sure to maintain that. I would tell you a comprehensive plan where we have the most success is, kind of, let's hold the line, let's facilitate growth, but let's find a way to reinvest as well, especially in communities that have really an established fabric and an established infrastructure. You have a lot of streets, you have a lot of sewer and water and all that kind of stuff that is already in place. If we can find a plan that supports investment within those areas that you're not having to supply or the developer isn't having to have passing on that cost to future owners, that's a win-win.
So we just had graduates of our Citizens Academy tonight that were asking, in a roundabout manner, they were asking about infill, and they were asking about these properties that are weird, small shapes and that kind of thing. So that's kind of what you guys were asking, and this is a solution to those issues.
Yeah, so.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. Great question.
Any other questions, council?
I just wanted to respond to Robert. Burlington is probably one of the best examples I know of the success of comprehensive plan. And prior to 1997, the city was just spinning its wheels. And that plan was completed just before I got on council. And it's served us well for 10 years. In that comprehensive plan, each area of the city had its own book, like the downtown, the riverfront, parks, streets, even the airport, I think, was a part of that. So it really gave the council and the staff direction. It was
Just
something that just wasn't there prior to that.
Wanted to make sure that everyone knew the value of what it is we're about to do.
Gotta have a map if you're gonna know where you're going.
Ooh.
Any other thoughts or concerns? I do have one question. Sure. Is it done yet?
Are we there yet?
And it isn't gonna, you're not gonna see, the other thing, a lot of times, we call it an update, right? It will look different than the current plan. It is not gonna be, you're not gonna start reading it and see that there are, old words that we forgot to update and that kind of thing. This will be, it's a new format. It will be a lot more graphic, a little less text. It's, like I said, probably not gonna be 200 pages. We've gotten away from doing those types of plans and making them a little more accessible to people in general, and then putting more of an effort into the engagement to get
I'll be honest, for me, for one, I'm excited that you're the same company and you were involved, because that means we can hit the ground running on this project where we don't have to kind of educate. Here's some of our important components so it doesn't get glossed over. So I'm really excited about it.
Excellent.
Any other thoughts? Any last audience, any questions, concerns? Hearing none, let's vote. Thank you very much.
Weiss?
Yes.
Wilson?
Aye.
Phillips?
Aye.
Kreitzer?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution awarding contract for the 2026 Domeland Street Sewer Project.
Second.
Mr. McGregor.
So this project in front of you is a storm sewer project that helps deal with some drainage at the end of the cul-de-sac on Domeland. It makes a connection to the DOT right-of-way storm sewer system. We had a public hearing for the plans and specs. We went out to bid, received 4 bids. We had an estimate of $118,000. The low bid came in at $84,440 from Four Seasons, Inc., and my recommendation would be award bid to them.
All right. Any thoughts or concerns, audience, citizens? Any thoughts or concerns, council?
Just that Four Seasons is a local company, so great.
Good stuff. Let's vote.
Weiss,
Yes.
Wilson,
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Kreitzer, Scott.
Yes.
Okay, number 4.
Matter of resolution approving professional services agreement with HR Green for the equalization tank control improvements project.
Second.
This project is a equalization tank connection to our wastewater treatment plant controls. So as I kind of explained at the work session, we have 3 equalization tanks in our sewer system as a result of some of the sewer separation and the inability of the sanitary system to handle some of the excess volumes that happen from inflow and infiltration. So currently they are handled by a mechanical gate that controls based on a float. What this project would do is help modernize it and connect to the wastewater treatment plant with the SCADA system so we can plan to operate that system during flood events. Is kind of the reason why the project came of mine, but also helps us during rain events without flooding. So essentially we would take a look at how to design that with this contract.
Okay. Any thoughts or concerns, citizens? Council, any thoughts or concerns?
No.
Hearing none, let's vote.
Weiss,
Yes.
Wilson.
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Number
Matter of
5.
resolution approving the purchase of a 2026 rear load garbage truck for the Public Works Department.
Second.
Fire away.
This resolution would authorize myself to purchase a rear load garbage truck. I explained at the work session, we have several of our rear load trucks that are hitting 15 and 20 years old. We've found that several of them have caused some delays. For instance, last Monday, we only had 4 trucks out on the route, even though it's a 5-truck day. So we have a rear load garbage truck budgeted for fiscal year 27, which starts in July. What I'm recommending is authorization to purchase a rear load garbage truck. I have 2 vendors that I've been having conversations with. The resolution would authorize me to purchase a garbage truck. I'm anticipating the price much lower than the budgeted amount. I don't want to reveal too much, but in the $270 range. And so it's substantially less than what we have budgeted. So upon that, we have a demo coming in next week. I would make a decision to purchase, truck A or truck B, and then we would move forward.
Okay. Anyone in the audience have any concerns?
I would just add, the reason he doesn't want to reveal too much is he's got 2 of them negotiating against each other, right? So,
Good job, Nick. Okay, council, any thoughts or concerns? Let's vote.
Weiss,
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Okay, we've reached the end of our council agenda tonight, so we'll go around and get some final updates from our department heads. Eric, you're first up.
Just wanted to thank our volunteers and committee members for the Earth Day cleanup on Saturday. It was a chilly day, but we had a good, decent turnout for that and got some spots around the community cleaned up and beautified. So thanks to everyone that was came out for that on chilly Saturday morning.
It's interesting because of Earth Day, there was a parent on social media asking for a project for her son that had maybe done some bullying or something, I can't remember. And I think the reason they chose cleanup is because of Earth Day. So, more parents could choose that, I'd be all excited about it. Miss Music, anything tonight for the city clerks? No. Okay, no more pranks on the mayor, good deal. Stephanie Stuker, anything from finance? I'm gonna ask you, because you hear anything from Parks or Forestry tonight? Mr. Gorley?
Defaults to.
Yeah. Here's a chance to chew your own horn. I know you guys pulled the trifecta off up at the Forestry Awards.
Yeah, I'd just like to definitely thank my staff for all the forestry awards that we got and the work that they do. It's so important for our community, so I appreciate that. We do get a lot of questions about restrooms, shelters, and things of that nature right now. We have officially skipped spring, I think, at this point. We moved right to summer. But we do hope to have some restrooms open later this week. Drinking fountain should be working, and we'll be moving in that direction. Do have a lot of projects we're working on. Hopefully, the lighting on the riverfront will proceed here a little bit. Right now, they got the boring done. We have done some boring of some water lines in Crapo Park, so we're getting that done. And we had a generous donation for a shelter project that's gonna happen at Perkins Park, near the pickleball courts. So we're working on that also.
Fantastic. Look at you go.
And I think the locomotive too, we're gonna be getting some bids out for that so that we can get that repainted.
Nice.
Dress that up too, so.
Did, I assume it's already been done, there's graffiti on the bike park of,
Yeah, that was taken care of.
Thank you.
Emily, yep.
I didn't want to describe it, thanks.
That's an ongoing thing. We're just
Thanks
gonna
for
get
being
that
on
all
top
done.
of it.
Yeah, so, but, yeah, we got staff back. It takes us a little while to get up and going this season. We're doing a lot of mulching and getting things ready for a fun summer, so.
Appreciate the
For
stuff
the-
you guys do.
Excuse me, for the public, can you say what the awards were?
For the forestry? Yeah, the Tree City USA, Tree City World, and the Growth Award. Those are all for the forestry division.
You could just keep repeating it, because I love the fact that we're in the top of the state of Iowa. Good job.
Somebody might have tuned in too late to miss the.
That's true. Mr. Mayan, anything from wastewater tonight? Hey, I'll get with you before you leave too. I got you an answer on that question we were talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell me now.
I can tell you. They have not experienced any water as of yet, but they
Okay.
do have their pumps on and they're on auto.
Okay.
So, but they haven't had any due to the high level of flood.
Okay, well, this has to do with that.
Okay.
What I'm talking about, if you put a picture up. We started our project replacing piping at our Market Street lift station. This would be like, this would be the beginning of the work before we demolish. That is our wet well right now. We have bypass pumping, but we're not able to keep up. As of Friday, we had that high flow rate from the rain and the storm, and we have not caught up. This would be a before picture before we took everything out. But, yeah, I was somewhat concerned about basements downtown. It is presently, what you saw there with the steps in the water, that's about 6 foot higher than the basement level for the post office. So I'm assuming that a lot of mitigation has occurred at businesses downtown over the years because of the frequent flooding, and I'm hoping that no one's having any issues. But that's where we're at right now, and I'm hoping we can catch up with our bypass pumping right now before the project is finished. But it's moving along real quick, real fast, so.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Yep.
Thanks for the update. Ms. Jacobs, anything from the library tonight?
Hello. This is National Library Week, a week to celebrate libraries across America. Each day is a special theme, so keep an eye on our social medias for those announcements. Today is the Right to Read Day, and ALA, the American Library Association, released the State of America's Libraries 2025, the censorship data, and it was 4,235 titles, which is the second highest ever documented since ALA started tracking challenges. And Iowa is one of the top states as far as challenging titles. So keep an eye out for that full state report. It'll be in the May Library Board packet, their meeting packet for their education. But we do today celebrate the right to read and our ability to access information without fear of punishment from the government. This is also National Volunteer Week, which is great because it's a double whammy. We got a lot of volunteers at the Burlington Public Library. In 2025, we clocked over 7,000 hours of volunteer work, which helps from everything on shelving books to helping host our programs. Like this weekend, we've got the fall or the spring genealogy and local history workshop. We have a lot of volunteers, including Councilwoman Kay, helping people do some research. It is a free event, Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have a special guest keynote speaker, Sue Kaufman, will be coming to give 2 keynotes, one on Friday and one on Saturday, and you do need to register for that, so please check the website out for more information. And then to piggyback off of the Parks Department, we are very excited to bring the first ever New York Times bestselling author to Burlington. This is the first big name author we've ever brought in. Doug Tallamy. He is a modern day Aldo Leopold, leading in conservation. He will be here on Friday, May 1st. We're going to host him at the Capitol Theater, and this is in partnership with the Leopold Landscape Alliance and the Des Moines County Master Gardeners. That information is also on our website, so check it out. We got a lot going on, a lot to celebrate with the Burlington Public Library this week for National Library Week.
Fantastic, good job. Okay, Fire Chief Toops?
Not tonight, Mayor.
Not tonight?
No, sir.
Lieutenant Tripp? No, nothing for the PD? Nick?
He's already on the move.
Run in now, run in.
Mr. Myatt forgot to say one thing, but I will relay the message. The project that we approved tonight with the equalization tanks, if that was live and operational, it'd be help out greatly in some of the work that they're doing at the lift station. So, Washington Street, we should be opening the 5th Street intersection. I don't want to jinx us, but in about 2 weeks. So that work will be still moving. They got about half the intersection poured. They've moved west over to the 7th Street intersection, and then they'll stay kind of west till after Memorial Day, let the bike race happen, and then we still have this intersection out here. So,
How long, once the intersections are done and we're just gonna asphalt, is that a month-long, 2-week, any predictions on
I don't have a prediction.
that? 3 days?
It won't be too long, but they'll mill off, and then they'll do some structural patching. It is brick underneath there, so there's probably some places, we've got a couple that are on the western portion near manholes that we're gonna try and clear up, so we don't have any settling, so, I don't know, month and a half, maybe, 2.
Okay, that's really, thank you.
The other thing is the river. I sent out an email on Friday. It looks like the crest is kind of rounding off a little bit, which is good. So we won't have to do any action. The stormwater valves that we have wet wells in, if and when we have to close those, we still have a few inches of headway. And pumping, I did talk with Drop It. If we were to get rain events, that area would be kind of ponded. So if in the chance that we get that, we've asked them that they may want to move. So that might be unusable for whatever period of time that should happen. But
Okay.
plans are in, moving forward, but I don't think we're going to get to that point, so.
I agree. Mr. Byrd?
Cool. When we talk about comp plans, think of the budget as kind of a comprehensive plan. We plan now for a budget that lasts for, 12 months into fiscal '27, but 18 months from now, 15 to 18 months from now. So it really serves as a guide. And that's how we use it. Departments look at that and go, okay, well, we plan this and we plan that. Sometimes it works and we can adhere to it, and other times it doesn't. You've all seen that. So it's a pretty important document for us as well. So a lot of work went into that, and I want to recognize our department heads for their diligence in holding the line and keeping things in check the best they can. And certainly Stephanie and her team for pulling that thing together. It's a monumental lift, starting in about October, and we just finished tonight. So certainly want to draw attention to that. And thank you for all of you for your input and comments and guidance through it as well. So that's all I have. Thanks a lot.
Before you know it.
In a few months, we'll start again.
That's right. Robert, anything else tonight?
Yeah, BRE actually had a big update. BRE and Rice Rodeo Company announced that they're going to have an event called the Riverfoot Rampage, hosting the 2026 Rice Bowl Riding Tour Finals. So it's going to serve as the Rice Bowl Riding 2026 Tour Finals. And the top 30 riders are going to compete for $25,000 of overall payout. So this is kind of like the new version of Snow Bowl. And that's going to be happening next year in March.
Sounds good. Mr. Scott, anything tonight?
Yeah, the only thing I have is I took 20 bags of cans to the drop-it for the senior center. Now they can pay their utility bill.
All right.
Wow.
Miss Kay, do you have anything?
I do. I want to, in addition to the genealogy workshop on Friday, there's going to be a special exhibition called Degenerate Art at the Art Center of Burlington. And this is, I would say, almost a prelude to the Holocaust exhibition that's coming to the library in August, which is part of a national tour, and we're the only spot in Iowa having that. So I would encourage people to try to go, and there are a few little flyers like this on the table over there if you're interested in picking that up as a reminder.
Mayor Pro Tem, anything?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
The only thing I'd have, folks, is beautiful weather out finally. Just be aware, if you're a driver of a car, be aware, you know, you got everything, you got two wheels out there, you got scooters out there, you got bikes out there. Pedestrians. We've had a couple of accidents here lately where kids were hurt. And so parents, have a discussion with your kids about, you gotta follow traffic rules. So if it says stop, that means you stop too. The stop sign's there, and you know you can't cross the crosswalk until it says to go. And they also need to look both ways before they cross the street. So you know, I know you all love your kids. Talk to them. Take a few minutes to talk to them. Help us out. And in the meantime, drivers, look out for each other. Because this time of year is when we get active again, and kids are antsy, trust me, I hear them every day. They're ready to be out of school, so sometimes there are deals where they're tearing out of those school systems to get home and do something fun. That's all I have. Is there a motion to adjourn tonight?
So moved.
Second.
All right, let's vote.
Weiss?
Yes.
Wilson?
Aye.
Phillips?
Aye.
Kreitzer?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.